Who? Let's enable all that, enable all that, enable all that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Disgustingly Resilient Podcast. Obviously, a live one. I hope the volume's okay. Once again, we've got to do the whole volume shuffle, so do let me know in the chat if the volume's okay. I can hear myself. Oh, that is odd. All that. Hello. Oh, God, I always do that. I always forget. I have it open in the background. I'm an idiot. Bit of an echo there, bit of a. So as long as we can confirm Death Guard Dave's volume's okay, then we're pretty much going to jump straight into it. Sound seems okay. Cool. Right.
Good.
First things first. Obviously, hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year holiday time, etc. Hope you enjoyed yourself as well, Mr. Death Guard Dave.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, sir. I had a lovely time. Luckily, Papa Nurgle was kind and delivered lots of presents, but no infections while I was off work, so that was good.
I actually caught a chest infection, so I didn't get so lucky. Papa Nurgle did visit me this year. Get any Warhammer goodies? Anyone in the chat get any Warhammer goodies for Christmas?
Well, actually, our list building last stream inspired me, and I realised that one of the only models that I didn't have in terms of allies was Rotigus, which obviously was there, so I picked one up. So he was my Nurgle related present this Christmas.
Oh, nice.
What about you? What did you anything nice for you?
Not Warhammer wise. A certain somebody still owes me a Sagittor, but they're like hard diamond to get at the moment. But I'm going to try and pick one up, and she'll just said she'll pay for it when I manage to find one. But nothing Death Guard related. Surprisingly, I'm sure you have this issue. Being a Death Guard like main for the past couple of years, you kind of have everything.
Got everything, yeah.
Yeah, kind of everything.
So,
in the chat, we got two more Biologus. Good choice. New dice. Everyone loves dice. Everyone's a dice goblin. Dawson bought himself some Brigands. Always a good choice. I mean, me and Death Guard Dave are purists here, but we won't judge you. We won't judge you. More Plague Marines, a Rhino, and a Blight Hauler. Excellent choices there, mate. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Obviously, today we're going to go through the event that happened from the list you guys built me. And then we're also, at the end, we're going to talk about the units, maybe some of them that did better than expected, some of them did worse than expected. And then just a quick thing about the future sort of the channel, the year going forward. It's nothing crazy. It's just trying to set a bit more, routine in stone, etc. like that, plans and goals, etc. So without further ado, shall we get into this, Dave?
Yeah, let's get into it. I like everybody else in the chat. I've got the advantage of being able to talk to you about it directly, which is great. But like everyone else, I'm interested to hear what happened. And just so everyone in the chat knows, I've deliberately not quizzed Aiden about this privately. I've been waiting for this stream, so I'm just as I didn't look at any of the results online or anything. So yeah, just like everyone else in the chat, wanting to hear, mate. Get started.
Yeah, let's get into it. So let's have a quick readjustment of the abomination that you guys created for me. So again, people that maybe this is the first time tuning in, to celebrate 3,000 subscribers, we allowed the YouTube members and the YouTube chat to make me a list that I took to this tournament. Its name was Bigfoot's Rotting Toe, and it's definitely a list. I think we can say that much, Dave, can't we?
It's a list, yeah, technically.
it's definitely a list. It's quite spicy, some would say, and not only that, we also had some limitations on the list as well. So not just unit choices, a few limitations. So without further ado, would you like to remind the people what we took?
Yeah, sure, no worries. It was a really fun stream. So for those who were here for that, it was a really good session. We got to this. The plague surgeon who never sees the light of day and leaves any of our cabinets had to be the warlord. So he was pretty much the first pick, and he had deadly pathogen on him. We then once again another unit that probably not a lot of us have put on the table in competition recently. Death Guard Demon Prince came out to play. Which was a fun choice.
Definitely not overpriced. Definitely not overpriced. That's all.
Definitely not. We'll come back to the third one. The Noxious Blightbringer, Bell guy. He was definitely one from Will and I that was a must include in the list.
Yeah, as we all know, Battle Shock is very important.
Battle Shock is super important, especially with this one lone character. The foul Blightspawn. a mainstay of 9th for all of us. Pretty good in 10th, though it was decided by chat that he wasn't allowed to leave a Rhino. So obviously he was in there. He wasn't attached to a unit, so it stopped any unit of Plague Marines having 2 characters attached to it, which was a lovely limitation. So thanks for that, everyone. I'm sure Aiden appreciated it.
Thank you so much.
And to round off the characters, this was pretty much Aiden was begging by the end of the stream to have a character to
knees.
to have his Terminators have something. So very kindly, someone super chatted a Lord of Contagion. So that was well deserved. Moving on to the battle line, 10 Plague Marines, usually a great thing, but not when they've only got bolt guns, which was another stipulation of the community. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks, guys.
10 cultists. 10 cultists. He has to be able to play the game, so we had to give him some cultists. The Blightlord Brick. Discussion was 5 or 10. I'm glad the community came down on the side of 10 because it's definitely the way to play it. 5 just doesn't cut it. At least we gave him a chance to hold an objective. A couple of Chaos Spawn, fast moving.
How graceful! Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to spin this into positivity. A couple of Chaos Spawn, once again, so you can play the mission. 1 Rhino, but bear in mind that 1 Rhino has got a foul Blightspawn driving it, and he won't get out of the seat. He's kind of rotted into it. 2 Blight Haulers, once again, units we don't see a lot on the table, so Aiden had to take those. And then we had 3 Nurglings from the Demons list. Great for, as we know, play, so they're wonderful. They were in the list. Slimux with a Beast of Nurgle. So that's a really interesting combo that we all wanted to see. Rotigus, the big man himself, can deep strike, so I'm interested to see what happened with that. And then the War Dog Brigand to give him 1 bit of anti-tank, really. So that and the Blight Haulers for a bit of anti-tank.
If I remember correctly, the fact that there is a single War Dog Brigand meant I couldn't say this list isn't competitive, apparently, because a Brigand automatically makes it competitive, apparently. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, originally there were 3 in there, so that would have just made you a meta chaser.
Yeah, it's very true. So overall feelings after getting this list, I'm just in the chat very quickly. Thank you very much for coming a member, Dats and Des again. Natalie, you sat right next to me. Thanks for coming a member for the continued support. Don Hooson, yep, definitely a Plague Surgeon, mate.
Hello, Don.
Hello, yeah. Don. Taco Tots, first time catching the stream live. Love your stuff, man. Keep it up. Thank you very much, and welcome to catching the first stream live. That's really cool. And Chaos Lords are with. I love the spawn. We need Poxwalk as well. Maybe we'll do this again, and you can get your 60 Poxwalker dream fulfilled. But yeah, this was the list. It is not advisable. It is bad. It's really bad. As we said,
Aiden, what did you kind of, after we did the stream and you actually saw this like on paper? What were your reaction?
I was kind of like, why have I done this to myself? Like, I was just like, well, this is going to be an interesting 0-3 event. But it didn't. Instead, we went 2-1, as we'll get into.
Wow.
Okay. It didn't go awful, imagine. Also, the Biologus Putrifier. Do you want to explain the chosen by the dog?
Yes, sorry, we didn't come back to that. So we got to the end of it, and after shuffling around some points, we managed to create a 50-point gap, and then it was decided that it would be too easy just to have the Biologus. So we basically got Aiden's dog to tap a card out of a fan spread of character cards to see what he was going to get. Yeah, live on stream, and the dog actually took over Aiden's chair in front of the camera. Aiden fanned out the cards, and his dog did pat the Biologus Putrifier. So Aiden's dog did a great job there, and actually kind of pulled an ace card out of the end of the play.
And I will have chat know from what they said, he's definitely not a paid actor. He's definitely not a trained actor.
No, he's not.
He randomly chose it out of complete fluke. So, but
it was independently adjudicated.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, this is the awful abomination you guys made me. So we signed up for an event. It's an RTT, so it's only 3 rounds. God forbid I wouldn't take this to a GT. Maybe if we get to 5,000 subscribers, please don't make me do that. But we took this.
All of us are going to have to take the made-up list to a GT if that happens.
That is true. And Will thankfully lent me a lot of the allies models. Cannot really have the allies, so he's lent me them. So thank you very much, Will. And yeah, basically we started off. So pairings came up the day before, as is tradition in the UK. And this is round 1. This is pure infantry Astra Militarum. So as we can see, there is over 200 infantry models.
Wow.
And every turn, about 40 of these are going to respawn. And every squad's going to heal D3. So this is a list, so we'll go through it very quickly. So there's Acadian Castellan, nice, give out orders. There's 3 Death Corps Marshals. Screw these guys, because when they join a squad, the entire squad gets a 5-up feel no pain. That's very annoying to deal with. We have Gaunt's Ghosts.
Humans shouldn't get feel no pains.
No, we don't get feel no pain. We're not allowed it, but they can have it. They can have a 5-up feel no pain. Gaunt's Ghosts being a pain in the ass. 2 command squads with medics, so they have 6-up feel no pains. Ursula Creed, Iron Hand Strachan himself, and then we have 2 squads of 20 Catachans for 14 total. 5 squads of 20 Kriegsmen. So these are the ones that are going to be having the 5-up feel no pains. 2 squads of 20 infantry squads, a unit of 6 Bulgren with all the tankiness, so 4-up invulnerable, -1 damage, 6-up feel no pain, 2 heavy weapons team for some mortars, and 5 Tempesta Scions. So, if you had my list, Dave, and you saw this, how would you be feeling?
Slightly depressed, and would definitely pull a chess clock out. But that looks like, I think your list is not too designed to kill this much infantry.
No, unfortunately, it's not really designed to kill this much infantry, especially when the infantry, as I found out through orders and cover, which you taught me. Thank you very much, cover, Dave.
That's okay.
These guardsmen are all going to be rocking a 3-up save in the shooting phase. Why do guards have a 3-up save and a 5-up feel no pain? I don't know, but they do.
I don't know. There is no answer to that question.
Now, I didn't know this because I don't really play against Astra Militarum. So when I looked at my 10 Plague Marine with bolt guns, I was like, okay, this might actually do something. Until I found out they're going to be 3-up save or 5-up feel no pain, and then I quickly realized they're not going to do anything. So looking at this, we're not dead. It's not going to kill us really, because we're still hard to kill. It doesn't have the best output in the world, but we're gonna have to do something special because this is a lot of OC. All this is OC2 per guy. So there's about 400 OC on the board, which is quite good. It's like I said, it can respawn 20 guys potentially twice a turn. So they can have 40 guys respawn every turn, plus the med kits are getting D3 guys back every turn. It's going to be interesting. But we go. That is the actual army there on that tray. That is the site I walked up to as I came to round 1. So knowing this,
is a mince pie proxying anything?
The mince pie was provided by the lovely TOs. Unfortunately, I am a heathen and do not like mince pies, so I turned it down. My opponent very graciously enjoyed his. This is deployment. This is what deployment looked like. So the plan in this game. So we were playing. It's a strange one. They were using because it's kind of a casual event. They were using the bit of a not normal mission, shall we say? Also, notice the event terrain is old GW terrain, which is not recommended. We'll just say do not recommend in this edition. It is not great, but we make do with what we've got. So the mission we were playing was the one where 2 objectives are marked, and then on the 4th battle round, one of them disappears. Was it 3rd battle round?
Yeah.
And the 4th battle round, the second one disappears. So at the end of the game, there's only 3 objectives. The one in my deployment, the one in my opponent's objective, in my opponent's deployment, and then one in no man's land. Now, we rolled for it. The one that would remain at the end is the central objective, so the one right in the middle of the board here.
Yep.
Which is quite good for me. The other 2 would vanish. My safe one would vanish on turn 3. Boo. And his safe one would vanish on turn 4. So yay for him. So boo for me. Not great. So can Scabrous Skull reduce OC model to 0? No. It's a minimum of 1, unfortunately. So I couldn't just take that. A good idea though. But the problem I had in this matchup was that there were so many guardsmen, because I'm thinking obviously during deployment what I'm going to pick for my Contagion. There is too much guardsmen, and I have 2 little models, especially models that have good OC. to make use even of that contagion. Even the -1 OC isn't going to make enough of a dent. So I could have potentially gone -1 save, but my plan wasn't really to kill them, because killing them is kind of like, I'm going to kill them, but I'm not going to kill them
yeah, you're not going to kill
enough.
enough.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I decided I'm just going to try and stick around the board as long as possible. So we went with -1 weapon skill,
Yeah.
-1 ballistic skill.
-1. Yeah, that's what I would have chosen. Good plan.
Yeah. So we went actually with fixed objectives here. We were secondary, sorry. So I went with teleport homers, and I went with assassinate, because he has lots of characters in these squads. And
does
I'm
indeed.
going to make. And I'll tell you right now, 5 turns, I spent 5 command points on heroic challenge. Every turn I was heroic challenging and trying to kill characters. But as we can see, in the deployment, so my plan was basically I had a Myphetic Blight hauler behind this building, so on the line. Again, there's nothing really here that's really threatening. It's a lot of las guns. My vehicles don't really have to care too much. So I put a hauler up front. The reason is I'm going to use my hauler. Now, normally I'd say to people, use your Nurglings to infiltrate, and then they can do homers all game. The problem is, in this matchup, Nurglings will die, like mortars exist, etc. So the hauler is a lot tougher to kill, and also, if the hauler gets in position to do teleport homers, even if the guardsmen charge it, keep it in combat, because it's a vehicle, it's still eligible to shoot. And let's be honest, it's not really got any good targets here, because haulers get +1 to wound versus vehicles, and guess what this list doesn't have any of? And also, multi-melter is not really what you need when you're killing 200 guardsmen. 200 plus guardsmen. So the idea was the hauler can just sit on the middle, doesn't matter if it gets tagged in combat, etc. It's just going to sit there all game and do 5 teleport homers. And that did happen, actually. So yay for the hauler.
Yes.
The other plan was this Rhino here was going to go and drop off the lads up here. The lads and boys, the squad, up this end. We didn't take the Plague Surgeon because I didn't think we were going to really need it. The Plague Surgeon was just vibing and jumped in afterwards. But they took the reroll advance and charge because I wanted to make sure I could make the charges. So those guys would go up there, drop them off, and then basically the whole idea was try and get OC on this point if we get first, and if they get first and then they scout and get catchings on it, we can then charge them.
Charge them off, yeah.
The entire goal, I guess, of this mission in my head was, as long as we keep them in combat, we control the movement a lot more than normal, and also they have no fall back and shoot. And if we keep close to them, we keep the contagion on them, which means the damage on us is going to be the least. So we're not really asked about killing the entire units because it's just going to respawn. It's just trying to tag as many as we can in combat with guys to keep them locked in combat, because I'm not scared about their melee, and basically keep them in contagion and just kind of pin them where they are. I don't want them all over the board. Now, if they got first turn, I was in a bit of danger here because they're going to screen me out the entire board.
Yeah,
thankfully,
move and
thankfully I managed to get first turn on this one, and this is the result of our first turn. So the Catachans have scouted up because they have scouts. So he's put a squad on the center. He's put a squad at the top, move forward. Rotigus has gone forward. Now, Rotigus actually has an aura of half move and half OC, which in this matchup is actually really fucking good. So I was really happy with that. So Rotigus. Now, the reason I was being super aggressive with Rotigus is I was not scared to lose Rotigus. Toughness 12, 22 wounds. He's going to just be walking all over, stomping. He's got the flamer, so I want to get him, somewhere really nice and set up. And he's just meant to go around. And he has the great thing about Rotigus as well. He has 14 sweep attacks, which are normally damage 1, but because of his ability, he can make them damage 2, which against Feel No Pain is really good against 1 wound infantry.
Really, really good, yeah.
So I wanted to be aggressive with Rotigus. My Blightlord Terminators is in the building on the board, because again, we can't keep them in reserves, because if we do, there's a chance we just get screened out. As Dave said, they could move, pushes out the board. We have nowhere to drop them in, they die in reserves. So we start them on the board, within range, basically trying to push that central objective. The whole plan, because we know this is the objective that's going to be at the end of the game, is to try and get 10 Blightlords and park their ass on that middle point. And from there, we'll just try and keep the rest of them in combat. So we can see the Rhino's gone up the top. We dropped our guys off. Brigand's just getting an angle on some Catachens. So is this Hauler. This Hauler's going to sit here and do teleport homers. And my Demon Prince is just behind this building, and he's moved up to try and charge some Catachens. Now, the reason we're okay to shoot the Catachens here with the Brigand, etc., is because this model here, right on the end, is actually a character, which means this model has to be the last alive. So this charge here from the Demon Prince to the unit is only going to get made worse by maximum 1 inch. So
Aiden, and just remind us, was Demon Prince winged or wingless?
Wingless. He is a wingless Demon Prince. So yeah, again, thanks for that, guys. We move up. We obviously do some shooting, and then we do some charging. Now we managed to kill a fair bit of this top squad of Catachens, but it turns out there was 4 Catachens left and Strachan, and my Demon Prince charged in and did the sweep attack. So he has like 14 sweep attacks as well. The only problem is they're damage 1 and AP 0, and he killed 4 guardsmen. Yay! Real good value that. And then Iron Hand Strachan punched like 4 wounds off him or something like that. So I was like, yay! So not great. Horticulus and his doggo are in Steep Strike, mate. So I've kept them off the board, and the Nurglings, so they're lingering. So they're going to be coming in. So we move on a little bit. So on his turn 2, he basically goes all out for it. So it's a bit of a crappy footwear, just trying to get all his movement in. He swarms up the top end. He brings his Bulgur into the center with the rest of the Catachans. He starts moving towards his natural one. My Demon Prince is in the open here after getting slapped a bit. And this Demon Prince is about to eat so many bullets. Now, thankfully, he did actually bring a front squad within 3 inches of him. There's a guy like behind this wall. So one of the squads is actually -2 to hit, because I'm going to pop Cloud of Flies, which is quite nice. Now, throughout all this shooting, the Demon Prince, I think, went down to 2 wounds. Strachan's fallen back over here somewhere. But that's about it. Nothing else really happens. The Mortars shoot at Chaos Spawn, but Chaos Spawn are actually pretty good against Mortars. They have a 3-up save because of 4-up save plus cover. T5 and a Feel No Pain. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm happy with that.
And then you regen wounds next turn.
Yep. So honestly, not much happened.
Well, every command phase.
Yeah. So, and all this here shot Rotigus and did about 2 wounds to him. Again, a lot of these advanced as well because they wanted to get onto the point here. So we've not really taken any losses. Demon Prince has took some damage, but he's basically moved up, and that's about it. Now he does control all the primary. I don't hold this. I do hold one over here actually, because we managed to get the Catachens dead to just Strachan, and my 10 Plague Marines on there are nice and safe. So
nice.
We stick to the plan, and we decide to full commit now. We're going to try and tag as much as we can in combat. So we bring out the Blightlords to charge the center mass here. The Foul Blightspawn, as you can see, still in his Rhino down here, not leaving that Rhino at all. And then Rotigus just gets more aggressive after flaming a squad. He moves in. I want to keep him near the middle just for that OC reduction aura to help out the Blightlords. The Demon Prince charges the rear squad, and this is the first instance where we're going to use Heroic Challenge to pip out the Marshal in here with the Demon Prince. So Strachan, who was behind this wall, actually got grenaded to death, which is quite good. Managed to pick him up with a grenade. And then my Plague Marines shot all their 10 rapid fire bolt guns. Do you understand the damage, Dave? Do you understand?
I do. Devastating amounts of firepower.
Lethal hits against toughness 2. That is peak efficiency.
Peak efficiency. Yeah.
So we unloaded a salvo, 10 bolt guns let rip, bang, 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 2 shots per guy, bullets flying down rain, the guardsmen screaming, dropping to the floor. Toughness 2, I was in contagion range. We're hitting them on 3s, wounded them on 2s, and we killed none because they had a 3-up save and a 5-up Feel No Pain, and bolt guns are shit. So we decided instead, if in doubt and the bolt gun fail, you pull out your knife and you charge them. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Got them. Yeah.
So we charged at the squad top here. So currently we have about, in this fight here, we've managed to tag 2 squads. So we've got we put all our shooting into this back squad with last cannons. Which actually, you know what? To be fair to him, the Blightlord Terminator, I can't remember if it was them or it's the Foul Blightspawn, did actually a fair bit of damage with shooting because that squad at the back had no feel, no pain. That one, that was an infantry squad, not a Krieg squad, so that had no feel pain. So that actually took quite a bit of damage.
Nice.
So Aiden Prince heroic challenges manages to punk out one of the Death Krieg Marshal fellas. So one squad has lost its 5-up feel no pain. This other squad is tagged in combat. So all this here is going to be -2 to hit, having to fall back to shoot, etc. like that. So it's nice to control. The Blightlords came out, managed to shoot away a lot of the Catachans into the center, with help from Rotigus, the Rhino, with the Blightspawn as well. And then they managed to get a charge into the Bullgreens, who actually are quite tough to kill.
Yeah, they're pretty tough.
They're pretty tough. -1 damage plus the 6-up feel no pain is quite annoying. 4-up invulnerable as well, but thankfully they don't have great OC. And even if they did, it's being halved by Rotigus here. So this combat here, I think one of them lives, and we just carry on basically beating on them. But we do manage to take the point in the middle. This hauler once again just continues doing his job of teleport homers. So in this one turn, we've picked up 2 assassinate because we've killed Strachan and we've heroically killed one over here in the challenge.
Nice.
And we managed to tag quite a lot. Now, as you can see in the bottom right here, Snaily Boy and the Beast have dropped in. We're hoping to make a 9-inch rerollable charge, because again, he gets free reroll. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it. However, him being there means it's just there to kind of be annoying. It's going to take shots.
Yeah,
exactly. Like this has to either commit to Rotigus or him. He's free to do stuff. Rotigus is tied up, so I'm assuming he's going to shoot the snail. So I'm okay with that. Now, at this point, he decides to respawn 20 Catachans, the ones that are wiped in the middle. So we're going to get another 20 guys back in. So that's fun. I got some really cool shots actually, so I just wanted to put this in there because I'm actually
nice.
like this kind of game. I won't lie, this game actually reminded me because obviously you play competitive a lot. It was one of those games that kind of reminded you like why you got into 40k in the first place. Tons of
really thematic kind of game.
Yeah, really thematic. Even the plague surgeons are getting stuck in. Look at him here. He's joined up. He's caught up with everyone else. He's getting stuck into the fight. There's just tons of guardsmen. There's a demon prince. I got another picture from their angle. So it's just like it was just a really cool thematic like shot of everything just going to hell. You can imagine these guys were getting ripped apart, even though they really weren't. But the plague knives did okay. Again, it's hard when they've got a 4-up save and you're not got any AP on it. But I needed to keep the CP for the heroic challenges. But mainly, the important thing was these guys can't move towards the middle because I've move blocked them. And they're going to have to fall back, which means no shooting. And even if they did, they're only -2 to hit anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because of the contagion plus -1 to hit spell. But yes, just some really cool shots there. Now, unfortunately, this happened, however. So this is a bit more dramatically positioned just for a cool picture. On his second turn, so if we go back a second, you can see my plague surgeon here joining in the fight. Gaunt's Ghost actually dropped in next to the Catachans behind my guys. Now, what I didn't know was the plague surgeon is my warlord. He's ready for a fight. I've given the enhancement. I'm really excited to get him stuck into some guardsmen and start chopping up. This fella here is from Gaunt's Ghost. I don't know if you know this because I didn't know this. They have a sniper rifle.
Oh, good.
Do you know the damage of this sniper rifle?
Is it something insane like D6 plus something?
It's just flat 4. Do you know how many wounds a plague surgeon has?
I believe he's got 4.
I believe he does have 4. Do you want to take a guess at what happens to the plague surgeon?
Did the guy with the sniper rifle shoot the plague surgeon and do 4 wounds?
The plague surgeon was there. He had his sword raised high to cut a guardsman's head off, and then his head exploded.
Do you mean the guy that's never seen the light of day from any of our cabinets for months, maybe years, was on the table, and in the very first game, as he ran into combat, sword raised high, screaming Nurgle's name, he got popped by a human with a sniper rifle.
That would be accurate. Yes, that is an accurate description of what happened to the plague surgeon on his first outing in months. My plague surgeon had his head removed from his shoulders by Gaunt's Ghost's long glass. Good shot, sir. And that was quite comical actually. And do you know what even worse? My opponent was playing tactical, and this was the turn he. As you can see the card there. What does that card say?
He pulled assassinate.
Yep.
I'm going to give him a little golf clap.
Yeah, so the plague surgeon's head was removed from his shoulders, unfortunately. So, but as you can see here, so there was 20 Catachans up here. There's now a lot left. There's now a couple left. Gaunt's Ghosts were also there.
Yep.
So this is at the end of turn 3. So the Blightlord's cleared out the rest of the middle. The Demon Prince is basically just continuing his pressure, trying to get into the back line now. As you can see, he's behind their building. His guys have fallen back from my Plague Marines, who basically just recharge back in. Again, we're just trying to wear all this down. Rotigus and the Snail are in combat here, so those guys are just starting to just. We're not going to
Okay.
kill them. We're just trying to basically just keep
line
them
them
here.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, because Rotigus is having all the moves, so they can't. Because you got to remember, at the end of this match, all that matters is the central objective. He can only respawn
Yeah.
his guys from the edges of the board. So my entire game plan at this point is keep them away from the middle.
Keep him off the middle. Yep.
So this squad here,
Is the Beast of Nurgle still with the snail, or is the beast gone?
the Beast of Nurgle did fall to the shooting, unfortunately. So
Okay.
he saved his Master Snail's life, but unfortunately did go down. He at this point, so I have got my guys into the center. These guys have the flamers to overwatch. So this squad coming in is not really an issue. My brigand is running up and down back here, just shooting anything that's respawning. So as you can see, 20 Kriegsmen have come back in my bottom left now as well. Gaunt's Ghosts were actually picked up by a combination of the Foul Blightspawn and his Rhino, plus 10 cultists that came from strategic reserves and shot them, because auto guns kind of hurt guard. The auto guns did more than the bolt guns, which is kind of depressing. So I won't lie, that is a bit upsetting. Now, at this point, I wasn't too worried because this objective literally vanishes. That's no longer active, this objective. So the Catachans coming in here, not really an issue. What is an issue, however, is these guys here.
Yeah.
He came in with these guys and the Scions. He shot one spawn to death and then managed to make a 9-inch charge with both squads onto the
Oh
spawn.
wow.
So I have lost my home objective, but again, on this mission, home objective isn't actually worth anything unless he draws a card. It's all about no man's land objective, so it's not the worst case scenario. But the problem was it means they're close to the center objective, so I need to react to this. But at this point, again, we're just playing keep away. We're trying to keep him off the center. The Hauler, again, is just consistently doing teleport homers. The Demon Prince, I think, charges Ursula Creed here, cuts her head off, and it's another assassinate. We managed to kill Gaunt's Ghosts, which are assassinate, because they're all characters. So we're having a pretty good time at the moment. We're keeping them away. We're trying to, push back against the tide of, the tide of men that are coming in. And this is the turn afterwards, so the Brigand, the Val Blightspawn, and his Uber driver have managed to basically clear up a lot of this trash that was on our home objective. The terrain we moved out just to make it easier. Unfortunately, you may notice a lack of Snail. Turns out,
Snail's gone.
Yeah, all these guys in these squads, there's like 6 power swords in each squad, kind of weirdly.
Wow.
So unfortunately, the Snail did go down. Her Rotigus is doing the good fight. The Blightlord Terminators clear anything near them. And at this point, just due to time, because of obviously you can imagine playing against 200 guardsmen. It takes a while for his turns, which again, I never pressured him. There was no chess clock. He was really good at just saying, like, I'm sorry, it takes a while. I think he kind of regretted bringing 200 guardsmen, I won't lie. but we managed to wrap it up fairly quickly. There was no talking through. We just basically moved the important things. Because, technically, we could roll out the fight with Rotigus from these guys down here, but Rotigus is not going to kill them all because they've got the Feel of Pain, the regenerating guys every turn. And Rotigus doesn't have the OC to take this off like the 40 OC that's here. So that's fine. All that mattered for me is killing everything to keep it away, which we managed to do. So I did those important shots there. And we managed to just basically hold on. And we managed to actually come away with an 84 to 67 victory. We did get a final assassination as well. So we got like 884. I think that was... It might have been Rotigus doing a heroic challenge onto one of the guys. It was some form of character getting picked up somewhere. But yeah, we're quite happy with that. So, that's a decent start. I said it's a happy start. We managed to get a bit of a not so nasty list, a very big skew list to face, but we managed to come out on top, which is quite cool. The lack of damage wasn't too noticeable because obviously it's just guardsmen, and we just stuck to the plan of trying to keep them away from the center and keep them in combat because a lot of them never got to shoot. I think We managed to keep the
Yeah, really
60.
good plan. And the -1/-1, definitely
Yes,
the right move there.
yeah, anything that does get to shoot does manage to basically, come back, manage to do it at -2 to hit. MVP people are asking for that game.
Yeah.
Um, do you know what it's actually probably going to be? It's either going to be Rotigus because he just pushed forward and was kind of just doing what he wanted to do, and basically no one wanted to come near the middle near him because of the half OC, and after that he went and just tied up for like 2-3 entire squads here. He killed one
Yeah,
full
he just
squad.
charged right to the other end of the board, didn't he? And just tied stuff up.
Pretty much, yeah. Even out of the Demon Prince, because you can see the Demon Prince actually did a lot of work this game. He charged in,
Yeah,
did a
yeah.
pathetic amount of attacks, but then he killed 2 characters and was getting the Contagion in their backlines.
Mm.
So that to be fair, probably either Rotigus or the Demon Prince in this game. Blight Hall, I mean, he scored like 20 on teleport home, so well, 15.
Legend.
So I can't complain too much about him. Definitely not the
Yeah.
Plague Surgeon though. Definitely not the Plague Surgeon, unfortunately. When his head
Talking
was
about
removed.
thematic, with Rotigus there on the map, it looks like he just kind of waded his way through all these hundreds of bodies, just slashing them out the way.
I just love the idea. It's just like just literally you can just watch him walk, just go doot doot doot, and then he's like, "I'm just gonna come down here now." You can see Rotigus' just movement, just wee.
Yeah,
um,
tramping his way through
wait a
Guardsmen.
second. Wait a second. You notice something, Dave? If I start here with Rotigus movement and draw it back here,
Yeah,
and then back
yeah.
here, that's a 7.
Oh,
It's a
number 7.
backward 7, but
Yeah,
it's a 7.
yeah.
Coincidence.
Nice. See, meant to be.
See,
Good work, man.
see.
That was good round. Well dealt with.
So yeah, round 2, however, we got. I don't know if you noticed this list, Dave. I'm not sure if you've seen what I said in the Vanguard Tactics chat. This is the list that Vanguard Tactics
Oh
has for
yes.
its accelerator course for Tyranid Masterclass.
Yeah, it is.
Irony. Talk about irony.
Irony indeed.
So this is an invasion fleet Tyranids list. So this is the sort of like generalist all-rounder Tyranids.
Yeah.
And this is probably a bit more of a competitive list than the first one. Again, the opponent was great, nothing against it. He was obviously there for a laugh himself, but it's still a dangerous list because of the skew aspect of the first list. But this is probably more of a what you'd sort of expect to see, shall we say? So
Yeah.
yeah, we have a Swarm Lord, so he can Vect me, so increase my strat costs. He also gives himself a free CP every turn. He's got the Neuro Tyrant, which is really annoying. Tervigon with a Feel No Pain, that if it takes damage, it then goes to a 4-up Feel No Pain, which is really annoying. 20 Gargoyles, 2 into squad to Termagants, which are going to be regenerating because of the Tervigon. 3
Yeah.
Von Ryan's Leapers, 3 Venom Thrope, so all these armies are going to be -1 to hit and cover, but monsters are going to get cover bomb.
-2 move.
Yeah, Barb Gaunts, yeah, -2 move on ours. Neurolictor, which again I can't understand why it's not a character. It doesn't make sense to me in my head. It's a character that isn't a character.
And it's got Lone Operator, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not a character.
Yeah, make it make sense,
Yeah.
please. Please, it hurts. A single Ripper Swarm, because it's just a better Nurgling.
Yeah.
A Maleceptor, 2 Exocrines, the big non-emissary, which I was like, how the fuck am I going to kill this? 2-up save, toughness 11 or 12,
Yeah.
4-up invulnerable, 5-up feel no pain, and a 15 OC if it's on an objective. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And a Biovore, which I don't have any Plague Bus crawls to deal with, so that was very cool. Yeah, this is definitely a list that I was worried about, but as we say, we move into that is not the right picture. There we go. Apologies. That is from a different event. Hello. How ironic that though. It was Tyranids round 2 then as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
So this is the actual one. Must have forgot
Right.
to remove that slide. So as you may notice, this terrain is
Sparse.
a little bit,
Lacking.
a little open. And as you know, thankfully I have brought lots of overpowered long range shooting. No, it's not great. We won't lie.
No, you didn't bring my tank. You didn't bring my tank list, did you?
No, we definitely didn't. So we decided in our eternal wisdom, the only way I'm going to win this game is because it's Sites of Power. Now, you guys gifting me with so many crap characters actually saved my ass on this one. Because Dave, do you want to tell them what Sites of Power is?
Is this the one? What I'm just looking at the deployment. What's going on with the
what? Sorry.
deployment on this one? With
So
the
it was.
deployment, his
It's okay. It's
is
really
it
weird.
diagonal? Is it halfway the
It's
corner
corner to
or?
half, yeah. So it's like that. It's really weird. So mine's like this, and his is like that.
And are you playing supply lines on
Yes.
this one for the extra
Yep.
objective? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then do you know I haven't actually. I'm just looking for it. I haven't actually played Sites of Power, so
Okay.
go for
Sites of Power is on
it.
where if a character is on the objective, it empowers it, and you basically
Yeah.
score double primary on it. So all those crappy
Oh,
characters you guys
that's
gave
what it
me
is.
are actually going to help out a lot on scoring primary on this one. So thank you guys. Now, the plan was I can't be passive here. I'm normally quite a passive player and sort of like take my trades. I can't be. And to be honest, it was stressing me out thinking about stuff on this deployment and this list and playing against it and playing my list. So I decided I'm going to play like an idiot. So this Brigand is deployed in the open. If I get first turn, I can run forward, put myself within 12 of next screen, and try and pop it. It will then die, but at least it did something. This hauler is hiding behind this little tree here. My Rhino is in here. I have Nurglings in here. We've gone for cleanse and teleport homers on this one because I've got a lot of objectives to cleanse on. Teleport homers, we've got Nurglings, which can I measured it for free game. You can get within the 6 of the center there, which is quite nice. And my opponent picked the same, so he's gone cleanse and deploy teleport homers. So my idea is I need to be aggressive. Try and keep his characters off the objectives, put mine on it, and we'll try and win on primary because I can't stop this Biovore getting 20 points on deploy homers because he's just going to I can't screen all this out. And he can just drop a spore mine in every turn. So I'm just going to have a quick sip for the fella that loves me watching me have a drink. This one's for you, bud.
You do that, Aiden. I just want to read for the guys who haven't done it. So Sites of Power basically says if you have more characters on a no man's land objective, then you empower it, as Aiden said. And what that means is at the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores VP as follows: 3 VP for each objective marker they control, and another 3 VP for each site of power that they have empowered. So there's markers down the middle in no man's land. If you've got more characters on them than your opponent, you're getting 6 VP per turn if you control it.
Yep, it's very true. So it's
Wow.
quite good for the characters in this one. So
yeah, good job. You've got 100 characters.
Exactly. Now, again, I'm not going to probably kill this. My entire idea is to try and because all these characters is the Tervigon, the Swarmlord, Neurotype, they're all monsters, which means I can move block them. So my plan isn't to try and kill them, it's to once again just try and stay alive as much as possible. So we take -1 ballistic skill weapon skill again, and it actually comes into play quite nicely. Now we have prayed for first turn, and guess what happens, Dave?
You do get first turn?
I do not get first turn, no. This Brigand is deployed in the open. There is an X screen here and an X screen here. 5 points to Gryffindor if you can guess what happened to the Brigand. It got shot.
Does it get shot and does it go boom?
It lived on 3 wounds.
Ooh, cheeky.
One failed save away from being exploded. So he came forward, shot a Brigand, which is very rude. Now he's behind here. So I decided in my turn 1, I'm going to basically just go at him. I'm going to put it all on the line. He wants his objective here. He thinks we're just going to do a queue. I'll cleanse this and this. You cleanse this and this, and I'll win off teleport homes. And I was like, no, sir. I'm coming in. I'm coming in with my Plague Surgeon is in the squad this time. He's here. He's ready to try and become an absolute king. He's going to go in. This Maleceptor, I have 1 hauler. This Brigand is just within range of it. This one can put a missile down at it. And the Brigand's got his melter within melter range of this X screen, okay? So
nice.
What we're going to do is so bear in mind, the X screen is going to get 0 save. He's going to get no save at all. Because it's going to be AP 5. He's only got 3 up
exactly,
cover. So every wound that goes through is an easy. And I'm in melter range, so it's D6 plus 4 per shot. So I pick up my dice. I am hitting on 3s because I'm bracketed. And I roll them. And guess what I get? I get a 3 and a 4. Great start.
Nice. Good start.
Good start. So then we're gonna go, okay, wounded on 3s, double 1.
Right.
Command point one of them, 1.
Right.
I hate brigands. I fucking detest brigands. Anyone that says I'm
And
going to
people
take a
wonder
brigand,
why we're purists.
they're awful. Every time I bring a brigand, Papa Nurgle says no. He's like, no, you won't do this. You are not betraying the cause. So yeah, brigands, worst unit in the book. Hate it. Absolutely despise brigands. Its Gatling took like a wound off the Maleceptor. This Blight Hauler actually landed a melter shot on this guy and managed to take 5 damage off it. So well done, you. Well done,
Nice.
little man. Rotigus put some shots onto the gargoyles with his flamer. The cultist, as you can see, has just towed on to do a cleanse, so we're going to cleanse this. The Biologus Putrifier actually managed to move and advance because he's got an assault weapon, get into this building, so he's doing the cleanse on this because he's
Nice.
got an assault weapon. The Nurglings are doing the teleport homers, and we are putting the pressure on. So this squad has came in and actually chops up quite a lot of Termagants, actually. Surprisingly, quite a lot of Termagants. Unfortunately, we don't wipe the squad, so they're going to come back. But we are in combat, and because of where we are, there's also a Demon Prince in there, by the way. Demon Prince got a long bomb. He's here, and he managed to, I think I rolled a 12
Yeah.
and got a long bomb charge like here.
Amazing.
So all this is getting 6 up feel no pain from Demon Prince. It's all spreading the -1 to hit to the Exocrines, to the Tervagon, to the Gaunts, the Neurolictor, etc. His non-emissary picked this objective, which I found a little odd to be his special objective. Not this one. So he comes around here, and for the next 5 turns, this non-emissary will not move.
It sits there and doesn't do anything. Yeah.
I am more than happy to leave it there.
Wow, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think Abby talked to him afterwards the game. I think that was his big blunder. That was his
100%.
yeah. But you know, we live and we learn. But I did get lucky there. So
Yeah, definitely.
we're in combat, and this game is the game where the Plague Surgeon, who's just had his head restitched on, reattached, decided he's going to get angry. So in the first combat, he's killed 5 to he hit and wounded with everything and killed every turn we got he swung at. So he's already done quite well there. And he's going to go even harder as we go on through the game. So next turn, I rapid ingress in the Terminators, so my opponents move this Maleceptor. Great move from my opponent. This Maleceptor actually charges my Hauler and then puts his ass onto the point, so he denies me this primary. Great move. The Gargoyles come down, deny me primary here. So I'm actually going to get like no primary because he actually out OCs me because of the bloody Termagants he's got in the building because he respawned them all.
Yeah.
So I'm actually only holding the 1 for this turn, which kind of sucks, but it's going to be rough. It's going to be that way. Now, the good thing is, because he's not Endless Swarm, if I do kill his gargoyles, which, you know, Rotigus can kill 20 gargoyles with the flamer and the sword.
Yeah.
They ain't coming back, so glad for that.
They're gone.
They're gone. So, in my second turn, these Plague Marines are still alive. This Tervagon charges in. You can see right there, that Plague Surgeon right in that corner. He tries to kill him. Not a chance. The Plague Surgeon says, no, not today, mate.
No way, mate.
The Neurolictor charges into the squad with his precision attacks. He says, no, not a chance, mate. You ain't killing me either. So the Plague Surgeon stands proud this game. He's there after being swung at by a giant monster and a Plague Surgeon. He's like, not today. We do lose a couple Plague Marines, but we bring them back. You know, he resurrects one. He puts the guy together while fending off a Tervagon and fending off a Neurolictor with his Bale Sword. He's, you know, repairing a guy on the floor. So the Neurolictor who came into combat then gets, because Neurolictor after Black Pylons ends up here, gets swung back on by the Plague Surgeon, who manages to lop a hefty 6 wounds off it. It lives on 1, unfortunately, because they have 7 wounds, which is a bit annoying. But he does chunk it, and we're quite happy with that. The Tervagon is not on the objective, so again, these are characters, and at the moment he actually loses control because the Plague Marines managed to stab enough gaunts to sort of make the difference. And in my turn, these Blightlords move up, basically shoot all they can into. I think we don't shoot the Tervagons. We don't want to give it 4 up feel no pain. I think they shoot across at these Gargoyles and help Rotigus, so Rotigus can charge outwards onto the Maleceptor. Which does happen, which is quite nice. And we managed to pick them up, which is quite good for us. So at the moment, we're actually doing quite okay on primary the next turn. We score a lot because this is the situation we're in at the next turn. We have a character on this point. Rotigus, he charged back in. He came back into the Gargoyles. So we have a character on the point.
Back on the point. Yeah.
So we have character. This is a big turn for primary for us. Maleceptor's dead. We're just ignoring the Exocrines. The Demon Prince has touched one in combat, so he came in Oh no, this is sorry. Ignore me. The Demon Prince took 3 damage off the Neurolictor, and the Plague Surgeon finished the Neurolictor. So the
Nice.
Plague Surgeon actually killed
Good
the
man.
Neurolictor. And then they play after the Demon Prince managed to also be in combat with the Neurolictor and be within an inch of the Execrene at the same time. So he's got that in combat now, which is quite nice because it means he can't shoot the Demon Prince because of Blast on his weapon. And it also means if he shoots out, he's going to be -1 to hit, plus the -1 Contagion. So he's -2 to hit.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. Now the Swarm Lord is in this building. He's going to come out to play, which is a little scary for us. Again, we're just doing our Nurglings just keep doing our scoring here. Biologus Putrifier is doing his cleanse. These cultists are still doing cleanse, so we're still doing good for secondaries.
Nice.
So now I'm actually quite proud of this one. So he has a really good turn, and he kills a lot of these Plague Marines. Yeah. Now there is still Plague Surgeon alive in here. So this is after being shot by double Execrene, being charged by a unit of Von Ryan's Leapers, and being shot by this Neurotyrant and this non-emissary.
Neurolictor. Yeah.
Yeah. The Swarm Lord came round, charged into my Terminators. My Terminators actually get saved a bit by the Demon Prince's Feel No Pain because the Swarm Lord's flat 3 damage, and every 6 I make is going to make another guy take an entire
Keeps one
hit.
alive, yeah. Yeah.
Snaily Boy teleports in. Again, I'm sorry, people that really want to see the Snaily Boy pop off. In this instance, I needed Rotigus to get aggressive, so him teleporting puts a character on this point.
Mop him over, yeah.
So it allows Rotigus to go in. Rotigus wants to go and slap this Biolevore and shut it up once and for all. The Swarm Lord has an ongoing fight with my Lord of Contagion. Now, if you can notice, the Swarm Lord is still not on the objective. We managed to keep him off it, so we base him, so we can't do any consolidates and whatnot, because we don't want him to come around and stand on objective. The Tervagon is also a character. My Demon Prince, his Execrene fell back. My Demon Prince charged into the Tervagon, and if you notice, we've managed to not only, I don't want to kill it, so I actually do the sweep attacks, because I don't want to activate its Feel No Pain either. So we sweep it with our 0 AP strength 6 attacks, but we actually not only manage to move block it, we pin it against the wall because it can only move backwards because of its base, so it can't move forward with a fallback. It has to go backwards, which is away from the objective, which we're happy with. The Plague Surgeon is in combat with. He got charged by 3. They're called Von Ryan's Leapers.
Leapers, yep.
He then took 2 damage off them and then chopped them in half pretty much. I think he killed 2 of them, and then he had like 1 or 2 Plague Marines left with him, which managed to pick up the last stun. So he actually managed to hold off this objective on his own and survive that. Now, my Rhino is moved up here because, and there's a reason for this. One, I wanted to spray something for fun just to do it, but I know in this turn, because I haven't done my charges here yet, I'm still in the process of it when I took a picture. Rotigus is going to go for the Biolevore because I need to deploy Teleport Homers because the score's really close. Like we are neck and neck, like talking 1 or 2 points.
Right.
So my worry is if I shut this thing up and stop the spawn line, if my Rhino stays in here, this fella, because remember the deployment's like a line here, it's real close.
Yeah.
Can move.
You just cross over
and deploy Teleport Homers. So I move my Rhino and I charge into it with the Rhino. Just so he can't fall back and do actions. So we managed to basically stop that from doing anything. So we go forward a turn again. So as you can see, the charge has been made. Rotigus gets onto that Biolevore, slaps it with flat damage 4 slams. Now Termagants do come through. The Execrene has charged my Plague Surgeon in here. Trying to finish him off. The Termagants do manage to steal 1 primary off me, but don't manage to get onto the other one because they have to pile into the fella here, and the sweep attacks managed to pick up quite a few. Now Horticulus moved off the objective because again round 5 is final score at the end of the turn because I went second, so he moved off on turn 4 because he didn't need to be on there at the start in case I wanted to move with do a charge. But as he moved forward, the Termagants did they have like a reactive move, don't they?
And they just moved away,
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to charge it, and the next turn I just moved him back onto it so he can hold that. But what did happen is, so again, you can see the Terminal sort of taking some objectives. We managed to like hold on to it though, and in this building here, we managed to actually hold on with our solo Plague Surgeon. Who manages, as you can see, the Execrene is missing a fair few wounds. He's down to 7.
Wow.
And that's all from this boy chopping off about 6 wounds off him.
Good
but
work.
yeah, Mr. Plague Surgeon at this he's also down to 1 wound at this point. He's hanging on for dear life, but he actually manages to hang on and manages to pull through an 80-78 victory versus Tyranids.
Wow.
And as you can see, it basically came down to that big turn in the middle with 15 on primary. Um,
Yeah.
and because he couldn't get onto those objectives, because we just kept him busy and in combat, we managed to hold off 2 turns of cleanse. He only got his natural one with his non-emissary on it.
Right.
Homers, we managed to deny that 1 point because they got up from to 79, so it's like real close. But we did manage to hold on just long enough. We didn't actually kill that much. Like if we actually go back and have a look at how much we killed, how much is actually still on the board we have. Both his X-Creens are alive. I've
Yeah.
killed a Maliceptor. I've killed a Biovore. The Barbagaunt's died to the Demon Prince kept spraying him with his sprayer because he could shoot out of combat.
Nice.
The Swallow actually did die to the Blightlord Brick, to be fair, and some Melters.
Yeah, the 10 brick has actually got a lot of attacks in it.
Yeah, it does, to be fair. But and we're actually not in the bad state. We still got Rotigus alive. We still got some vehicles. The big thing here was just this non-emissary dish did nothing.
That was hands down the move that cost him the game.
Yeah.
On that, not putting it on that second one. I mean, I don't know about you, but I played Tyranids a couple of times, and sort of in the last couple of months. And when the thing I find interesting about the Norn is, yes, it guarantees you holding a point, and no one's going to come near it, but it kind of neuters the mod.
It does, yeah. You don't really get to make use of its actual like stats and its like attacks. It never got combat once.
It feels like, yeah, it can occasionally shoot if its base is poking out somewhere.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it feels like for such an expensive, big, good-looking model, it's basically a paperweight.
Yeah, and I think that's basically what happened. It was like 300 points doing nothing. I think that's what managed to basically give me a bit of an advantage because if you compare it to my like 300 point one, which is Rotigus, look where my guy ended. This Norn could just come down here. He could just gone wee.
Also, it's also the mission rule, right? Like if you didn't have 4 objective markers strung across the middle and you had 3 as usual, that also would have forced the Norn to have become a much more integral part of his game.
But it was
well done, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was a cracking game though. The fellas from Staffordshire Tabletop Wargaming, I asked if I could give him a shout. Lovely guy, great game. And obviously he did get his list numbers. He did have some pointers, and that's basically the thing we pointed out was Sites of Power was keeping his characters off it. The non-emissary just basically needs to be part of the fight a bit more. But we managed to sneak out that one, which I was quite happy with. Now round 3,
Rotigus tramping his way across the board again.
Yeah, unfortunately, round 3 is where it kind of, I wouldn't say went to pot, but we ran into the. I'm not sure how versed you are with the Necrons.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, how many races are there?
There's only 6, thankfully, but there's 2 squads of them all.
Only 6.
MVP for last game. I mean, it has to be him. As much as I hate
the Plague Surgeon.
It has to be the Plague Surgeon. He genuinely did work, and he stayed alive and was scoring. So it's either him or Rotigus again. Because look at Rotigus go. Look at him just in the back line.
Look at him.
What a majestic creature. But yeah, I'm going to give it to the Plague Surgeon on this one. You know what? It didn't actually do too bad. Better as a smash character than a support character. Don't ask why. But yeah, back to round 3. So we had Necrons. So Necrons is the new Canoptic Court. So do you know what the Canoptic Court does?
I haven't super read into it. I've been obviously we've been talking about it in VT, but yeah, go for it, man.
So the Canoptic Court basically, its rule is it does the demon thing where it splits the board into your deployment, no man's land, opponent's deployment zone, and if you control half the objectives, so at least half in each zone, you get full rerolls to hit on every single unit in that zone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very powerful. So do you know what makes this even worse? When you get the mission where the objective in the middle is removed. So if he controls one objective, he has the entire board rerolling all hit rolls.
Oh god.
So what you might also not know is there's 2 Catan, which are 4 up invulnerable, 5 up feel no pain, halves all damage, very annoying, very hard to kill.
What, 12 wins?
Yep, and they regenerate D3 a turn.
Yeah. And they regenerate,
Yep. we have Technomancer with 6 Wraiths. So he's giving
With
them a
6
5.
race,
Yep, so 5
5
up
up,
feel
feel
no
no pain.
pain. He also gives them Infiltrate. So that's a 4 up invulnerable, 5 up feel no pain
God.
squad that can regenerate as Infiltrate. We have 2 teleporting overlords and 2 plasmancers in 2 squads of 10 immortals with Tesla. So this gives them, the plasmancers give them crits on 5s. They have sustained hits 2, and the overlords can let them use a stratagem for free where they get devastating wounds for free every turn on both squads, like basically. Yay! So one squad of 10 immortals will be shooting you with it's not like 20 shots, but they're 4 rerolls to hit because of the Canoptic thing, Majigger. They have sustained hits 2 on 5s to hit. They will have devastating wounds, and the Immortals rule itself is if you shoot a target on an objective, you get 4 rerolls to wound.
God.
So 4 rerolls to hit and wound, sustained hits 2 on 5s, devastating wounds. They average about 15 devastating wounds. 15.
Lovely.
Not good. It's pretty
Not
bullshit, I
good at
won't
all.
lie. It's pretty bullshit. Then you also have a Hexmark Destroys, just a little lone up character, does annoying things, can Overwatch for free.
Shoot
Canoptic,
back, yeah.
yeah, shoot back when you shoot him. Canoptic Archonfrights, which is kind of like 3 little Canoptic-y Forge World units with like melters on them, which are quite cute. They didn't do anything because they died instantly, as you'll see. Scarab Swarms, a Reanimator, and 2 Doomstalkers, which are actually really annoying. They hit on 4s, but they have 4 rolls
Yeah,
to
they
hit.
are.
And they Overwatch on 5s. They hit on 5s on Overwatch, and they'll have 4 rerolls to hit. So they're very scary in Overwatch as well. Yeah, it's yeah. The Catan don't get the rerolls, but everything else does, which is yeah.
The other thing about the race, I think, is that for they move 8.
12, I think,
So
or something stupid.
or 12, yeah, they're super fast. If they pass it over a unit, they do mortal wounds to it.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 4 ups in Vuln. They get a 5 up feel no pain from the Technomancer. They're T6. They're like flying, bombing
4 wounds
Terminators.
each as well.
They're also 4 wins each, so you can't even like pick them off with a.
It's definitely something, that's for sure.
If they don't make any saves, they're a monster, that unit.
Yeah, they're not very nice. So we had to face this. Now, obviously, my damage output is not good because I have bolt guns, etc. And this
Mm-hmm.
is Necrons, which aren't as tough as they used to be, but still tough enough. They also have a reactive move stratagem. They have a lone up. They can just make a vehicle. They can just make any Canoptic unit lone up. So the big Doomstalk, that's 15 fucking. No, it's like 50. It's like 40 foot tall or something stupid. It's massive. It's like this. It's like this. Fucking huge.
Yeah.
Is lone up, which is great. They, like I said, they have a reactive move. They can reanimate once you charge them, etc., like that. So it's not looking great for us, especially on a 4 objective mission. So he only has to control 1 objective, and he's going to get all those rerolls. So here we have deployment. Now I don't have many picture this game because I was having to focus my ass off. Now because of the nature of it, and because we were at such a disadvantage, I decided to basically just go for broke. The Rhino is basically in the open. It's getting cover, but it's in the open here. The Horse, Rotigus,
Yep.
and the Demon Prince are basically on the line here. The Spawn are
Yep.
holding. The Brigand can step on here. I measured it out. If I get first turn, he can get within melter range of these and just try and put them to the grave. These are the Archonfrights. Cultists are
Right.
here. And we end up playing tactical because there's nothing good to play for here. There's not good assassinate. There's not good
Yeah. You can't just
teleport
do
home.
homers
There's
easily.
nothing in the
Yeah.
middle. Can't do cleanse. There's nothing there.
Lens. Nope.
So we're basically forced to play tactical, which is a little annoying because I hate playing tactical because it's randomness. But we carry on. We do manage to get first turn. This Brigand walks up, blows these Archonfrights away, so they're just gone off the bat. My Rhino drives into this building here. Demon Prince walks next to the Rhino with an advance. Rotigus moves onto this point here with an advance, having the OC of the guys in there, of which he's only got 1 Wraith on it, I think. So we won't be getting that anytime soon. And it also means if he's immortal, step onto it. He can't take the objective from inside the building because he can get only 2 immortals on. Rotigus is 5 OC and he's halving them. So they're only OC 1 each, which is quite nice, quite cool. And the haulers are just hauling. They're hauling ass. The Terminators are in deep strike. The Snail is in deep strike. And the Nurglings are in deep strike. So basically, yeah, it's quite a bit of a jolt there. So we've moved forward. Now, what happens here is his wraiths here want to surround the Rhino and kill it in melee, so that I'm going to take a lot of mortals as I get out. Yeah. His
Hmm.
Nightbringer comes forward and tries a big charge into the Brigand with the Doomstalker shooting it. He has 10 Tesla Immortals in here who move into this little ruin in the middle. Um, his other Necron Immortals move into this ruin, and his Wraiths come out and charge my Rhino. Now, one thing I did is I had my Rhino within 6 inches of my Demon Prince. So when he charged, I Heroic Interventioned in because I have 3 CP. Because this was turn
Yeah,
2,
yeah,
sorry. This was turn 2 when he actually did all this. So I managed to Heroic Intervention from his charge on turn 2, and then I actually popped Heroic Challenge because he didn't put his Cryptek behind the wall, and I managed to pop his Cryptek straight away.
nice.
So his Wraiths have no feel no pain now, which is quite
No
nice.
feel pain. Yep.
Now I made sure when I did my Heroic Intervention charge, I only based the Cryptek because I didn't want to be in combat the next turn, because the plan was he can then basically, because he's about here at this point, he's going to move down here and come pressure the Immortals. And Rotigus, who has a lovely flat 4 damage weapon, is going to take over and go and beat the shit out of the Wraiths. Because they're 4 wounds each, whereas the Demon Prince is only 3 damage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Haulers are basically just putting pot shots at Doomstalkers, but they got a 4-up in and they just keep bouncing stuff. The Nightbringer did manage to make a turn 1 charge into my, or turn 2 charge into my Brigand and my Cultist, so I've lost his objective pretty much. My Plague Marines who got out of the Rhino, because he didn't manage to fully surround it, which is good for me, actually end up charging the Immortal Brick that got into this L, and they managed to actually stab every single Immortal to death, which is quite nice.
Nice.
So all the Immortals are dead from that one
And
squad.
Aiden, what contagion did you take for this one?
Ballistic Skull again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't think I'd live at all. I didn't think I was going to deal enough damage, so I just took the
Yeah,
magic
yeah,
ballistic
yeah.
skill. Again, just trying to save alive and score points. So actually, a really good turn for us. We managed to kill his Technomancer. We managed to kill the Immortals, and then the following turn, Rotigus picked up all the Wraiths. The issue we had though was
Nice.
that this top objective was completely lost. The Nightbringer was on
Mm,
it. The cultists were all dead. The Brigand was dead. His Transcendent
yeah.
Catan, as you can see from this picture here, has popped in here to threaten my home field. He actually kills the spawn with his shooting attack, which was very upsetting. But I did Rapid Ingress the snail in just to make sure I still held it.
Hmm.
So he has a big long bomb charge to the snail. I Rapid Ingressed my. Yeah, it was the snail actually. Oh, it was just normal deep
It
strike, I
was them,
think.
yeah.
Yeah. The
Okay, and
Terminators.
you bought in the Terminators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were just trying a 9-inch charge into the Nightbringer here. Unfortunately, failed it. They shot everything at him. Guess what? It did nothing, because of course it did. The Demon Prince round here went for the sweep attacks into the Immortals, trying to kill as many as I can. Turns out 0 AP sweep attacks are just useless.
Yeah.
They just don't do anything. So he bounced, unfortunately, didn't kill anything, and then the Reanimator plus the Reanimation brought them all back to life. But we have killed 10 Immortals. This Nightbringer then comes round and it charges my Plague Marines, and this is kind of where it starts falling apart a bit.
Yeah.
The Transcendent Catan charges the Snail and the Beast of Nurgle. Now, this is funny. People who don't know the Beast of Nurgle, they have toughness 9 and 7 wounds. The Transcendent and the one rule that they have is at the end of every phase, so not turn, phase, if they've taken damage, they heal to full, if as long as they're alive.
Back to full.
Um,
Yep.
the Transcendent Catan has d6 damage shooting attacks. He shot the Beast of Nurgle and did 2 wounds. I passed 1 invuln, failed 1 invuln. He rolled a 6 on the damage. I live on 1 wound. I heal to full. He then charged into melee. Do you know what the damage of a Transcendent Catan is in melee?
Is that 6?
It's d6. He
Oh,
swings.
oh, nice.
He does 2 wounds to the Beast of Nurgle. He does a 3 and a 2. And the Beast of Nurgle lives on 2 wounds and heals to full. Then the snail swings back with his little mouth and lands 2 devastating wounds at 3 damage each, down to 2 damage each onto it.
Nice.
Now, the funny thing is, this OC here is matched, which means that this infected objective marker here actually is carrying the contagion. So this guy is -1 weapon skill, which is helping quite a lot in the snail fight. This fight started on turn 3 and it would end on turn 5. The Beast of
Wow.
Nurgle would not die. It refused, and every turn the snail would take a chomp out of him and drop like a wound or two.
Chomped back.
And then the Beast of Nurgle could land a cute, devastating wound every so often. And over the course of 5 turns, the Beast of Nurgle finally dies, but the snail on 2 wounds came out victorious against the Transcendent Catan and managed to kill him. So long, bless you, Snaily boy.
Go snail.
Go snail. So the snail managed to solo a Transcendent Catan, which was beautiful. Now, unfortunately, that's about where the good times end on this game.
Yeah.
The Blightlords do manage to eventually make a charge onto this point. Unfortunately, the problem that we have is that the Nightbringer is just not dying, and it's impossible basically to kill. Rotigus makes this charge into this Canoptic Doomstalker with his 4 damage slaps. Unfortunately, he spikes his invulns and he lives, and that was a turn I'd bring it down as well, which kind of sucks. Which is a bit of a boo moment. Now, one thing that does happen, however, is this is the next turn here. So you can see that my Blightlords still haven't even made it in at this point. They've failed. So you can see the ongoing fight here with the slug and the snail. Rotigus comes around, tries battering him. My Demon Prince, unfortunately, even with -2 to hit, the full rerolls, the Doomstalker manages to land 3 6s and manages to pick him up, which is upsetting because I really want the Demon Prince to live because he kept the Immortals in combat. This got them out of combat. Next turn, they'd walk through and basically blast everything here away.
Yeah, of course.
Now, one cool thing that did happen, however, is my opponent drew Defend Stronghold. So he basically, on his home objective, had just his Hexmark Destroyer. Now, people that don't actually know, if you manage to deny Defend Stronghold, it's far worse than you think. Because you score it at the end of your opponent's turn. If you fail to score it, at the start of your turn, you can't replace that card. You don't have a chance to, because you don't draw it, so you can't use the command point to get rid of it and get a new one. And you also can't discard at the end of your opponent's turn. So you're stuck with that for an entire turn again. And it's only worth like 3 points. So Rotigus and the grenade guy here managed to pick him up and basically lock my opponent out of a secondary for 2 entire turns, which is big. Like that's huge.
Yeah, good move. Yep.
So quite happy with that, and that's probably one of the reasons this game was actually closer than I thought. Rotigus comes around, does manage to actually bop this Doomstalker on the second attempt, but then my opponent does something really, really clever here. I've got to give it to him. He basically uses the Reanimator and the Scarabs to basically just fully surround Rotigus. So Rotigus can, he basically can't get out of the combat. And also turns out full rolls to hit, lethal hits on the Scarabs who have like 20 attacks per squad. Actually hurts Rotigus because he only has a 4-up invuln, no actual save.
Right, so over a long period,
which kind of sucks. But basically, all that happens from here is the Blightlords do finally make a charge. They make like an 11-inch charge to get this Doomstalker. Thankfully, I still had Bring It Down, so both of these actually die on the same turn, so I'll get max on Bring It Down there.
Nice.
Snaily Boy does pick up this Transcendent Catan, and then with a Consolidate, basically goes and hides in this building for the rest of the game. And then it basically, all that's really happening left is Rotigus slapping some Scarabs, but not on an objective doing nothing. Scarabs surviving a bit. The Tesla Walls kill all of this in the middle because, again, average of like 15 dev wounds is not okay, so please address GW. Especially when it's free, the stratagem. Please just, if it's not a battle tactic, it's not that bad because it's 2 CP, but when it's free, it's just obnoxious. Especially when you can double tap it. Thankfully, we killed a squad before it even shot. But over here, I just couldn't kill the Nightbringer at this point. The Nightbringer just casually every turn. It's D6 plus 2 damage on the scythe, so every failed save's a Terminator guaranteed dead.
It just chews its way through stuff.
Yeah, and eventually it got to the point where, because Blightlords are only OC1, which I still advocate they should be OC2 because it would give them a purpose.
I agree.
And a much better purpose as being an actual anvil unit. They eventually got out OC'd and then to kind of proceeded to just slowly die because I couldn't out damage the healing because it just heals every turn. It pulses mortal wounds. So at the end of it, 10 Immortals hold this. The Catan holds this. I do hold home, and I'm basically got nothing left par Mr. Snaily Boy at the end. All this is gone. But despite that all being said, we actually only lost by 5 points.
Oh, wow.
62 to 57 loss, which I'm actually very happy with to go against that monstrosity and come away with that. And
definitely with that list.
The thing that is a bit of an upsetting one is, for example, when the 10 Plague Marines charged the Immortals, if they had bubotic weapons, just anything with AP, they would not only have killed the Immortals, they'd have killed all the characters as well.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. But again, we're running a daft list for a daft list reason. But
Exactly.
it is what it is. And so overall, in the end, I think it was like a 40-person GT or something. We actually managed to come 11th. So
That's really good. Well done.
I'm quite happy with that. But that was the experience of the tournament. But one thing we're going to ask, and now maybe you can ask some questions and whatnot, is actually how bad was it? Like, how bad were the units? So, anything you want to ask about certain units and whatnot, and anything in the chat, people want to ask if anything they thought was worse, anything that thought actually performed better than expected, feel free, just go for it.
Yeah, well, I'll start with while people are maybe dropping some questions into it. What surprised you out of what was in that list most?
So Rotigus definitely surprised me. Rotigus actually is not bad. Rotigus genuinely had moments in all the games where his aura was really good, his flamer was nice, 2 damage sweeps is really good, and flat 4 damage bonks is also pretty good. So Rotigus, I think, was definitely probably the most surprising unit in general. He's one that I was kind of excited to use him anyway, because I didn't think he looked terrible.
Yeah.
But actually playing with him, I don't think he's meta. I don't think he's because there'll be some match where he just dies. But
Yeah.
Overall, I actually quite had fun with Rotigus. And you do have to bear in mind, because again, look at the boards we're playing on as well. He's quite easy to move on this.
He's easy to move, but he's also kind of, depending on what you play against, he's easy to shoot, right?
Yes,
Immediately.
True. So it's one of those, but I genuinely had fun. I never felt like Rotigus didn't do something in my games. He generally did a lot of work in all 3 games, so I'm quite happy with him on that front there. So yeah, probably Rotigus is probably the unit that surprised me the most on that one.
Cool. Some questions from chat. So Samuel Conda says, should I buy Rotigus now?
If you like the model, and if you are understanding you're taking a non-optimal unit, but he will actually get some cool stuff done every so often, yes, he was very fun to play with. I'll say that he was by far probably the most fun model there. Him and the snail, even though the snail didn't really get many chances to shine because I had to use him as utility a lot. They're just fun. They look cool as well. It's really cool. Like a Great Unclean was an awesome model, and I genuinely had fun with Rotigus, so I like Rotigus. Yeah, I'd get Rotigus if you have the money, go for it.
CBT Preston Frost said, changes on opinion about Plague Surgeon now?
So the Plague Sturgeon is still an absolute pile of shit. However, if you for some reason want to save 5 points on a Chaos Lord and want something that can kind of swing okay with okay-ish attacks, knock yourself out, I guess. He's not as worthless as I actually don't think he's the worst unit in the book. I think the Blightbringer might actually be, which is sad because I love that model. But you know, sometimes you never even need the reroll because you make the charge the first time. Sometimes you need it, but then you don't need it for like future roll. So you've paid like 50 points for like 1 reroll, and then the OC just never comes into play ever. Like I don't know what it is. I just can never make someone fail Battle Shock no matter how much I try. So I think overall, like Plague Surgeon. For a medic, terrible, useless, garbage medic. For a kind of weird, it's kind of like 65 points to add a kind of shittier custodian guard to your Plague Marine squad. It's kind of weird, but when he does get swinging with that sword, it can actually, it can actually use now. It's strength 5 AP 2 damage. In this instance, it was strength 6 AP 2 damage with an extra attack. And a couple of times he was fighting on an infected objective marker, which did make it quite funny because he had like 6 attacks. So not as bad as I thought. Definitely still not putting him on my list though. Hopefully that puts it across.
Another question was, how are the Blightlords?
The Blightlords are the biggest have you ever like gone to a shop and you bought a sandwich and it wasn't a bad sandwich, but it wasn't a good sandwich. But it was a sandwich. It's like it exists.
Is the sandwich a bit dry?
Yeah, it's a bit dry. It doesn't really have much flavor to it. It kind of just like it's just like you kind of paid like maybe a bit too much for the sandwich that you feel like you kind of
Yeah,
like you're
yeah.
leaving disappointed but not upset.
So the description on the box of the sandwich sounded great, but when you ate the sandwich, it was a bit meh.
Yeah, it was like chicken stuffing and bacon, but then it had like the ratio of it was all off. You had like one piece of bacon, the chicken was all like really big chunks, which
Right.
I'm not a fan of, and the stuffing was really weak. It just I, no game did it do bad. But in no
Yeah.
game did I ever sit there and be like, I'm glad I've got this. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you could have been just everything else better. Bolt guns do nothing. The sprayers are okay. The Reaper auto cans are cute. You do get a lot of the AP2 attacks, but every time I'm swinging, I'm like, God, wish you were Death Shroud. Like it's just like the real wants to wound at shooting is meh. Like
It's yeah, it's ridiculous. It's silly on them.
again, like, why is it not like every book where it's like 4 rolls to wound if you're on an objective or target some on objective?
Yeah.
Again, I still think if they were OC2 and I could use them like an actual anvil, because they were quite
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
give them that. They're tough for the points, but the problem is even on an objective, like against that Night Bringer, it did take him like four combat phases to kill them all, but they have no OC, so they survive, but they're not doing anything. They're just kind of existing.
They're not doing anything for you. Yeah, and they don't hit hard enough to
Yeah,
put someone off coming after that objective.
yeah,
That's the
they're
other
not
thing I think
scary.
about them. I agree with you. Like if they're going to be slow and they're going to be tanky, and therefore what I'm going to use them for is to hold a point. What I want to know is if someone comes after it, that they can fight it off.
Yeah, it's like if you have like 6 dash out or even 10 plague marines with fights
Yeah.
first, like people don't want to charge that because it will hurt. Whereas like against
Mm.
Blightlords, it kind of like you mean it'll hurt a bit. It hurt more because I had a lot of
A bit.
contagion to reroll
Yeah.
for the
Yeah. Yeah.
hits. But it's also like, yeah, weapon skill 3 versus like weapon skill 2 on Dash Shroud. They're -1 to be wounded versus higher strength. So they don't even particularly are tougher because the Dash Shroud can have the -1 to wound versus the stuff that
Yeah.
actually
Yeah. Yeah.
scares them.
And then when they hit back, it's yeah.
And like the Death Shroud as well, they just control area better because they have all the flamers. So it's like, okay, if you come near me to charge me,
Yeah.
not only are you going to take Overwatch, then I'm going -1 to wound, and if I do swing back at you, you're probably going to die. Whereas
Yeah.
Blightlords are like, I'm not really going to Overwatch you because I've only got like 2 flamers. And they might not be in range because you can maneuver around it. I can shoot with bolt guns. They don't really do anything. I don't have full rolls to hit to fish for
Yeah.
wounds. At shooting, and when you come in combat, I can't get fight first because I'm not a plague marine, and I'm not scary enough that if you kill like 4 of them, it's like not scary on the swing back.
Yeah, and and I have got some 2 damage weapons, but they're not very high strength, and
Yeah, it's a unit. Is the best way to put it. It's a unit that will never make you excited and go yeah, but it's definitely a unit that'll make you feel sad. It can never make you feel
yeah,
good, but it can
yeah,
make you feel bad. But most of the time, it
yeah.
just kind of sits in the middle and makes you feel nothing. It's like, it exists. Um, yeah,
A couple of questions on Blight Haulers for you, mate. What did you think about those? I know it was a slightly weird setup for them, and probably not in the formation you take them. But did they do anything, or was it a bit of another bit of a not? You didn't really notice whether it was there or not unit.
I mean, okay, it's not a great matchup first game, second game because there's no vehicles, all Tyranids and all infantry
Mm.
guard. Even then, my melter sucks. Like it sucks on brigands, so it sucks even more on blight haulers. They're okay. They're tough-ish for the points, but every time I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, they are just. I would rather bloat drone. The same points. The bloat drone has
Right.
better weapons for what I want it to do, which is like the flamers and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I just can't roll melt for shit. I'll be honest with you. I think if I wanted an anti-vehicle unit, I'm just looking at predators. I like predators a lot more.
Yeah.
If I wanted an anti-infantry, sort of tough unit like him, again, you'll get the bloat drone. Not awful. Again, it's only 100 points. Good hull for 100 points. The invuln can be spiky and quite nice when you do spike it on the good shots. But it, I don't know. I never was like every time I shot it. I don't think it ever like actually connected and did something cool. Especially the game's got a lot of 4-up invulnerables. Melt is just not good. Melt is not great anyway. So maybe it's just me and I'm cursed with Melter because like I can't even land it on brigands for Christ's sake. But the best bit I found for them is just like touching stuff in combat that couldn't really hurt them, and then just being annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It was alright for teleport homers and stuff like that as well. They're quite small, easy to hide. Um, they're not bad. I'd say that I would rather have them than Blightlords, because the haulers, like I said, can get homers and stuff like that and do that things for you. And occasionally when the metal does go through and you get like a D6 plus 2 damage, it's nice. Whereas the Blightlords will
Yeah,
never
yeah.
do that ever. But I don't know. I'm not. I'd rather just have bloat drones personally. Again, you could run both, as Don Husen said. You can run both.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think they're good for a skew. You're a skew player. They're great because 100 points for a fairly tough body. It's annoying to kill, and can tie stuff up. Again, I would put them in like an average tier. They're not going to set the world on fire. They have the potential to let you down because again, Melta is very swingy, but they also have the potential to give you that moment that Blightlords don't, where you do nail both Melta shots. They both go through and you do like like 14 damage, and you're like, woo.
Yeah, so I guess so to kind of wrap up the final bit from the question side is there anything from having played this list that is making you think about including something from it in one of your competitive lists going forward?
Okay. Yes, there is actually. The Plague Marines with bolt guns are awful, but one thing that I did learn and one thing I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to swap out my heavy plague weapons to bubotic weapons, because the knives consistency, especially like because I'm obviously I'm looking at the rolls and doing them, and the knives being one less attack than like bubotic weapons, no AP, but hitting on
Hmm.
freeze, it just feels like a lot better than the four. I'm not sure you've had it with the heavy plague weapons where you just can't land a fourth to save your life. The freeze to
Yeah, we've all
hit,
been there.
yeah, the freeze to hit plus the extra attack I'll get plus the AP. It did kind of prove like even in combat because it was 30 knife attacks and I did manage to get sustained hits off at one point. Um, the quantity is quality of its own. So it actually made me like bubotic weapons a lot more than heavy plague weapons. I think going forward, that is actually something I'll adopt into my competitive list. I think my 10 man is going to have a lot more
Interesting.
bubotic in it, rather than I'll probably still put a couple of heavy plague weapons in it, but I definitely think the weapon skill 3 plus the extra attacks actually going to outvalue the potential damage 2. Especially if you got a Biologus Putrifier where your strength isn't that um interesting. Someone quickly in chat, what are your thoughts on Demon Princes? The Demon Prince is weird. Proper weird unit. Toughness 11 is interesting. 2 up saves pretty good. 4 up in one's good. Um, it's just overpriced. That's the problem. And the sweep needs an AP. If I could take -1 save every game, he'd be a lot better. I'd like him a lot more. But I don't know how you feel about Demon Princes. They're just weirdly statted. Like,
Yeah, I mean, in ninth I played it quite a lot. I even went to the extent I've got one made by Siege that I got done, which I love. And yeah, I'm with you. I think it doesn't. If it was the price it is, it needs to hit more. It
yeah,
needs to have more attacks or more big attacks or AP and AP on the left. It just needs to do more for the price. And I think the mix of the giving one a 6 up feel no pain to infantry and like isn't comparable with devastating wounds on the charge.
yeah.
But that's that they should be. It should probably be standardized that there's a Death Guard Demon Prince, slightly more attacks on the big swing, AP on the sweep, and then they both do the same ability, whether for devastating wounds on the charge, and or give them lethal hits.
Yeah, like anything like that would be helpful. At
Do
the moment,
something on top. Yeah,
they're not really at the points they're at. They're not worth it. They're not started to be worth it. Like the strength's only like 9 or something on the slam, which isn't great. But the durability wasn't bad. Like 2 up, 4 ups, annoying to deal with. I wish they had a bit more wounds. I wish the feel no pain worked on
yeah,
himself as well. That would be nice. But he wasn't. The only reason I'd say he's bad, it's just like it's just these points cost that make him bad because he didn't do awful. Like in those games, you could see him; he was quite deep in enemy lines, making stuff happen. But I would rather have had the winged one for sure because the 6 up feel no pain. Like it
yeah,
came into
yeah.
play one niche situation, which
Once,
was damage free into Blightlords. Um, but outside of that, like the 6 up never really mattered, and I'd rather have had like is it Dev Wounds on the charge, isn't it? Like that may have
yeah, yeah,
helped
yeah,
him slap harder. But again, I'd still want it to be a lot cheaper than it currently is because at the moment he's just
yeah,
way
yeah.
too overcosted. But yeah, sadly.
Cool. Any final thoughts from you, Aiden? Then do you want to close out with?
One thing I'd say is someone did actually say in the chat they did one thing they're taking away from it. It doesn't matter what list you take, skill and practice is most of the game. I would say to a degree, yeah. I think like it does kind of prove that, because obviously we know all the drama that happened when Death Guard got revealed and everyone was saying like they're useless and unplayable. Now I'm not saying that wasn't. I'm not going to say they're useless and unplayable. I think a lot of people were being a bit too doomsayer. It wasn't good. I'll give you that. It wasn't great. It was a bit rough, but I think it does prove that you can take crap, and if you just focus on playing like object, because that's what I did. How I won the 5-0 when we were in a bad state, because I just focus mission. I focus about denying, like blocking the Turvagon, seeing the Neurotyrant, being able to do homers, blocking that off, just trying to trap the guard in combat as much as possible. Even with crap tools, you can still make something kind of happen. Now I'm not saying you shouldn't take the good tools, because the good tools then allow you to take that to the next level, and you can make stuff actually happen rather than just holding on for dear life. But if you have like a cool unit like a Rotigus, for example, and you're not using it because the internet's telling you it's fucking awful, it's trash, don't play it, just whip it out, give it a whirl. Because I was really surprised by Rotigus. I wouldn't recommend experimenting with this many bad things, but having one or two like things that are considered like not good and just giving them a whirl every so often, I think you could genuinely surprise yourself. And
Yeah.
you know, it's fun to get those models out every so often. Probably not with bolt guns, but but being able to play stuff that you don't normally play is actually quite fun. I genuinely think this list could have took like actual weapons. The Foul Blightspawn could actually join the Plague Marine squad and stuff like that. I genuinely think like it would have probably performed better. I would. Do you want to know the one list change I'd make to this list if I could have made any change? I'd drop the Brigand. I just dropped the Brigand. I just don't like the Brigand.
Yeah.
If I could have had
No, I know.
165 points in something else, I'd have been happy. Even if it's just cultists and whatnot, or Death Shroud squad. And obviously drop some of the characters. Definitely too many bad characters, but it honestly wasn't as bad as I thought, and it was kind of fun, different, and yeah, just for people sort of like who are considering like thinking like maybe you always have to run the list to cutthroat. Dave doesn't run the cutthroat list. He doesn't run the meta list. He
Nope,
runs his own thing.
I never do. Yeah.
He loves his predators, loves his land raiders, stuff like that. And you can really surprise yourself and make your own list, and it kind of also feels cool to like run your list rather than the net list. And people honestly, when they see your list and they don't know what it does because it's not a net list, they kind of freak out a
Well, I
bit.
love that moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
love it. It's kind of a cool thing where people are like, "Oh, okay."
my
But like when people read it, like I just imagine when people read certain lists and they're like looking at it on Battlescribe before the sorry, not Battlescribe, BCP before the event and going, "So what the hell is this?"
mate, all three games my opponent was like, okay, so what does this list do? And I was like, I have no idea. I was like, I do not know what it
You're
does.
like, "We'll find out together."
Yeah, we'll find out together. And that, in a weird way, that's like an advantage on its own because they don't know how to play against it. Like that non-emissary, he's played really safe with it. Probably could have just been aggressive with it, but he didn't. He didn't know. Like he didn't know. Like what can it actually do? Can I kill that? Can I not kill that? Who knows? I don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's definitely a fun experience, and we'll give it a go
Well,
again.
Aiden, look, well done as well. Like, well done
Oh,
for
thank
taking
you.
that crazy list, and doing what you did with it. There, I think that was the reference in chat is fair comment though as well. You know what you're doing. You're a really good, strong player, and you took that list and you played the missions. You've got the strengths out of it. So yeah, look, good effort and well done for sticking to your word for playing just after Christmas with a list from this lot.
Cheers, man. But yeah, on that note, then we'll do a quick wrap up. Dave, you might be doing something for us, might you?
Yeah, so I'm going to not this weekend after I'm at Nottingham GT. So I will do a roundup from that event. I'll create a pre-recorded piece of video, summary of the event. I'll share the list I'm taking, and basically how the games go. Yeah, looking forward to that. That'll be coming. I'll get that. Well, I guess maybe the next couple of weeks after the event, Aiden.
Yeah, so whatever's good for you, mate, whatever's good for you. So Dave's obviously
Yeah, great.
been on a few times. It'd be cool to have him sort of like a more permanent member. So we're trying to get him like a bit of a series, kind of like Will's, where it's like recording his events, so you guys can obviously get another perspective of a Death Guard main player. Be quite nice. All I want to do just at the end of this is have a quick 2-minute chat about sort of like plans for the future. So for those who don't know, tuning in, we are Death Guard focused channel. We try and obviously get competitive help and whatnot. I've been a bit lax over the Christmas break. I need a bit of break. Burnt myself out. I made too many videos too quick. Learned that lesson. I needed to step away and also wanted a break, etc. You know, it's like crazy times over holidays. But going forward, plans for the new year is a bit more consistent and uploads, etc. We want to try and obviously get more Perfect Plague. The Tyranids episode is pretty much done. So I'm going to get that uploaded. That'll be this week's sort of like upload. And going forward, we're going to try and at least get out one video a week for you. Which that is the goal. So we'll try and get one video every week. That could be faction fundamentals, Perfect Plague, etc. Again, with Death Guard Dave, sort of, I think might be joining us on here a bit more frequently, which is really cool. We'll continue to try and get guests in on all that kind of thing. If you enjoy the content, please do consider just leaving a like, a subscribe, even consider becoming a member. You get access to our Discord, etc., like that. You can vote upcoming content. We have some giveaways every so often. And you can obviously be part of stuff like this where you get to make me suffer because you're all evil. But yeah, just kind of from the bottom of like my heart and from like Will, who's not here right now. But well, thank you so much for obviously the support. We're gonna go into this new year trying to basically, keep more consistent, keep a bit more like content flowing for you guys, and hopefully get out some things. One thing I do want to do is a video on people who are starting the army, so maybe some 1,000 points, lists, ideas, etc., like that. But yeah,
it's a really good idea.
Yeah, so just so people can like how to expand combat patrol box, etc. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I'll do a separate video to actually talk about the future stuff, but for now, I'm going to let people go. I've had Death Guard Davis hostage for too long at the moment. It's been an hour and a half odd. But thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed yourselves.
Thanks, everybody.
And we will catch you on the next episode. So